Hi, I'm Matthew Elliott, and I will be teaching Alyssa how to budget. For our lesson, we will be covering the basics of how to budget properly by saving money, spending wisely, and old tricks that can teach her how to self-regulate her spending habits after the lesson is over. I hope that at the end of the lesson, I have not contributed to learned helplessness. My goal is to boost her self concept of her capabilities, her self esteem on money management, and her self efficacy on accomplishing her tasks throughout the lesson. I want to start the lesson at a store in town to gauge how much a regular day of shopping for 1 week actually would cost her. By seeing these prices, I hope to enable her long term memory to store some key foods that she will be able to eat and remember how much they are, typically, during this time period or shopping time. My scheme will be organized by spending only 15 minutes at the store, give or take roughly 10 or 15, and getting a list of general food supplies that she will need. This will give me enough time to have our first interactions in a more relaxed state. Due to having the first part of the lesson in the store, I hope to see her state anxiety to be low and to see if there are any signs of debilitating anxiety or trait anxiety that can be resolved. From meeting Alyssa, I don't think that will be an issue, but just in case, if any anxiety is, which can be natural when you first meet somebody, I hope to neutralize that. I hope to use facilitating anxiety though throughout the lesson by various methods and questions. I will also see if her anxiety has certain social cues to help, so that I can understand her cues, her social cues, and be able to help her out, feel a little bit more comfortable. We then will get from the grocery store back to campus, from driving there. My wife will be there and she'll be able to videotape, so she'll videotape us and then we'll turn it off. We'll drive over there and then she'll have her car hopefully, and then we'll meet at the school and then we'll continue the lesson from there. The sudden change of proximity might make her nervous from just open doors into a closed classroom. So just once again, I want to see those cues and make sure that she feels comfortable. After driving from the store to the campus, we will be left with about maybe 15 to 30 minutes depending. I'm going to try to keep the lesson relatively short. This will be done in a classroom on campus. I hope to see from the initial conversations in the beginning of the lesson that I will be able to see her zone of proximal development. This will help me know to what depth we need to discuss certain definitions of terms used in budgeting. The more important information that we can reach, the best chances I believe that she will have to not have any issues with failing to retain or store the information for future application. This will be done through using hot cognition from asking questions. For example, I can ask about how much money she could live off, to not starve, or to just make sure that she has enough throughout a week, and to be secure for emergencies as far as saving and whatnot for just in case, so that she knows how much she needs in order to survive on her own. I hope that questions like this will help her become more intrinsically motivated rather than external motivation. The latter would be similar to behaviorism, which would be if others praised her for saving money and not from her being proud of herself. From the lesson standpoint, I will be teaching from a PowerPoint presentation that will enhance the visualization of the lesson. I want to show a free application that she could get on her phone that is a budgeting program, which will help her create her own prototype, her own scaffolding as well, that I hope to give throughout the lesson. without me creating it for her. I don't want to just give her everything that I've done. As far as the teacher goes, I want to be able to help her learn how she can do it on her own. Throughout the presentation, I will invite questions and time to stop and think about her answers to what she would do rather than explaining what she needs to do. This will hopefully help her in her progress to mastery learning and reinforce the knowledge being retained from her sensory register to her working memory and then into her long-term memory. The rest of the lesson will be opened up for questions and showing her how to get the application on her smart devices. Throughout the remainder of the lesson, I will be using other concepts that we've covered in class, such as positive instances and examples to boost her self-efficacy, to make sure that there's no misconceptions that she doesn't, if she's ever heard about credit being bad or having a credit card being bad, that I'll be able to dismiss that, help her be able to understand the pros and cons that come from credit cards or from certain saving habits that certain people have, so that she'll be able to understand on her own and be able to research that on her own, so that I don't give her too much scaffolding. Anyways, that's what I want to teach her in a nutshell. Once again, I'm Matthew Elliott, and I hope to have a good lesson with her. Thank you.